tonight we're going to wrap up our division of fraction notes. So we're going to finish those last 2 pages on our foldable. Things to remember when dividing fractions, just like when multiplying, you need to make sure first you change all mixed numbers to improper fractions. Second, you're going to do keep, change, flip. Then you can do top times top, bottom times bottom, just like when we did multiplying. And then make sure also that you simplify or reduce. So let's look at a couple of examples of this. 5/6 divided by 3/4. So I have no mixed numbers here. They're already fractions. So we can go to step 2, which is keep, change, flip. So I've got 5/6 times 4/3. One of the things we talked about in class today is cross-reducing. If you don't, I will show that to you in just a minute. If you're not sure about cross-reducing, then you can simply do top times top, bottom times bottom. And then you can make sure that you simplify. So this is simplified by 2, 10/9, and we know that that is 1 1/9. Now in class we did talk about cross-reducing. So 5/6 times 4/3. And essentially what I was telling you is you can imagine that your denominators are moved. So if I had 4 over 6, I can reduce that by 2. 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 goes into 6 3 times. And now when I do top times top, it's already reduced that 10/9, which again is that 1 1/9 piece. If you're not comfortable with cross-reducing, that's okay. You can do it the traditional way. Number 2, I'm going to have you try number 2. I'm going to put this on the form, and I want you to make sure you fill in the answer for that. So we're going to skip here to number 3. Keep, change, flip. I'm going to show you both ways. Top times top, a positive times a negative is a negative, over 24, bottom times bottom. And this will reduce by 3 for a negative 5 over 8. If you're comfortable with the cross-reducing, I'm going to rewrite it here. 5/12 times negative 3 over 2. I cannot simplify 5 and 2, but I can simplify 3 and 12. 3 goes into 3 once, and it's a negative. 3 goes into 12 4 times, and then I automatically get negative 5/8. I'm going to do number 4 with you. Keep, change, flip. Top times top. A negative times a negative is a positive. Bottom times bottom. I know that 6 will go into both of these. And I get 11 over 10. Again, that's an improper fraction. We can change it to the mixed number 1 1/10. Or again, if we're cross-reducing, 11 and 5 does not simplify, but 12 and 6 does. 6 goes into 6 one time. Make sure you keep the sign. 6 goes into 12 twice. And again, top times top, negative times a negative is a positive. Bottom times bottom. We still get 1 1/10. So what happens when we have some mixed numbers? Let me see if I can zoom in here and make it so we can see it. So step 1 said make sure you have fractions only. So these are improper, so we're going to say 3 times 2 plus 1 to make it improper. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1. This is 7 thirds. We're still going to write divide. 4 times 1 plus 3 is 7/4. And now I can do keep, change, flip. Don't try to do these 2 steps at once because you will inadvertently confuse yourself. So 7/3 keep, change to a times, flip the second one. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Now it looks just like what we did in class. This simplifies by 7. 4/3 is 1 and 1/3. If you prefer to cross multiply, I'll write it up here. 7/3 times 4/7. Again, looking diagonal, the 4 and the 3 do not simplify, but 7 and 7. 7 goes into 7 once. 7 goes into 7 once. Now I have 1 times 4 over 3 times 1, which is again the 1 and 1/3. So remember, when we're cross reducing, we're doing this reduce step before we do the multiply. I'm going to have you do number 6 in the form. So I want you to try that one. So let's look at 7. 7 has a whole number. In class today, we talked about how to make a whole number a fraction. We simply need to put a 1 underneath it. So we're going to keep the -3/8, change to a times, and flip top times top. A negative times a positive is a negative. Bottom times bottom. This is actually going to simplify by 3. So we have a -1 over 32. Again, if you prefer the cross reducing, I'm going to rewrite it here for you. The 1 and the 8 do not simplify, but the 3 and the 12 do. 3 goes into 3 once. Don't forget the negative. 3 goes into 12 4 times. Top times top. Bottom times bottom. We get the same answer. Last example. Again, make these improper. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 2 is 17. Don't forget the negative. Divided by times plus. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. Again, don't forget the negative. So now we're going to do keep, change, flip. Top times top. A negative times a negative is a positive. 17 times 4 is 68. Bottom times bottom. 3 times 5 is 15. Again, that is improper. If you wanted to do cowboy horse, you could. 15 doesn't go into 6. 15 goes into 68 4 times with 8 left over. So 4 and 8 over 15. And you're done. We cannot cross reduce on this one. So try number 2 and number 6 on the form. Make sure you hit submit to turn it in. And on Monday, we're going to revisit this. Have a great night and a great weekend.